Morning to you. This is the Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. It's 1 minute past 1. My name is Mary Onaife Edebi. And thank God it's Friday. Today is the 7th day in the month of July 2023. And it's a Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I have the headlines as always because this is the front page review where I give you the headlines from different Nigerian newspapers and we discuss the issues in the news, the hot topics in the news. Rufai Oseni will be joining later on the program after the headlines for the analysis, and hopefully Obed will also be joining us this morning, and the phone lines will be open later on the show. So let's begin this morning because we have a lot to talk about. We'll begin this morning with the Punch newspaper. Now, the first headline here says, rising inflation, private sector demands more waivers as Tinubu suspend tax. So you get the story on the Punch newspaper. Devaluation, Naira, Nigerians may spend 763 billion on foreign education. NDLEA promotes 3,248 officers, honors 12 commanders. Federal government promises to tackle military equipment shortage for funding. And still on the Punch newspaper, Nigeria record 798 diphtheria cases, 80 deaths. That is another sad story. They call it disease of the mouth. I think you should read about it. It's on the Punch newspaper and other Nigerian newspapers. Now to the Vanguard this morning. Tinubu suspend the Finance Act, hot 5 exercise duty on telecoms. Tinubu suspend Finance Act, hot 5 exercise duty on telecom. And we're still on the Vanguard. Nigerian practicing plutocracy, not democracy, says Falana. Plutocracy. And we still have here student loan, don't hike tuition fees, reps warn tertiary institutions. The story is on the Vanguard newspaper. Insecurity, troops kill 51 terrorist bandit ESN militant in firefight. And the gunmen kill 4, injured 2 in Plateau community. Still on the Vanguard this morning, asset declaration charge, detained DCP Abba Kyari secured 50 million naira bail. Now, we now move to the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Student loans don't hike school fees. Reps one tertiary institution. Why Abba Kyari will remain in Kuje prison despite the 50 million naira bail. Breaking soldiers gunned down terrorists crossing into Nigeria from Cameroon. Protesters besiege Abuja EU office, demand withdrawal of election reports. INEC files charges against suspended Adamawa rec. Now to the Guardian newspaper this morning. Fuel subsidy, doctor wants a 550% salary increase, threatens strike July 19th. And we have here Nigerians, 33 trillion naira stock market devalued, trading at discount. That story is on the Vanguard newspaper. Zamfara governor reduces 28 ministries to 16. Zamfara governor reduces 28 ministries to 16. Now to the Nation's newspaper. Tinubu issues 4 executive orders, suspend key tax measure. And Tinubu will announce new date for census MPC. Another one here, Tinubu blames poverty, unemployment for rural-urban migration. That story is on the Nation's newspaper. Now, the writer to that story says, President pledged support for MPC to conduct credible population housing census. MPC requests for additional 225.2 billion naira. Reports on ministerial list, mere speculation, says presidency. Now to the Sun newspaper. INEC commences prosecution of Adamawa rec next week. Tinubu signs executive order. That story is on the Sun newspaper. Still on the Sun. Your investment safe in Nigeria. Akpabio assures foreign investors. Now to this day newspaper, Tinubu signs for executive order to ease tax burden on businesses. We don't cede the ministerial slot to Wike, Rivers APC insist. And finally this morning, Oba of Benin upholds court judgment on inheritance. Now these are the headlines this morning from 7 Nigerian newspapers. When I move now to look at some of the hot topics here as I connect with Rufai Oseni to give some fresh perspective into some of the stories here. Remember, we are streaming live right now on YouTube, so you could watch us on YouTube. We like it when you watch us on YouTube and you leave a comment, you subscribe, and you share. It's very important to us. So I connect with Rufai Oseni so we could get the conversation moving. Good morning to you, sir.
God bless you. God keep you. God protect you and your family.
Ah, that's good. Amen. Amen. I need that prayer this morning. Thank you so much. You're in the spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well with you.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. So,
and all of our listeners too, that prayer I reciprocate for all of you.
Yes, and I say amen for our listeners. Now to the first story. This story is on all of the papers, but let's take the one in the Punch. Says rising inflation, a private sector demands more waivers as Tinubu suspend taxes. Now the writer says vehicle import, telecom, manufactured goods taxes blocked via 4 executive orders. Manufacturer telco welcome relief. Federal government says suspension to alleviate hardship.
Yeah, Mary. I mean, it was some news that came out yesterday. Some manufacturers have welcomed it, and owners of companies have welcomed it. But it's not a new thing. Because, Miriam, when you dig back, the National Tax Policy of 2017 says if you are going to effect new tax entries, you have to give it a 90-day threshold, after signing. And some of the extensions that were made were pretty much about things that was signed into law by President Buhari in his last days. And he had not met that 90-day threshold mark, in tandem with the National Tax Policy of 2017. So that's what they just did, an executive order for the existing National Tax Policy. I mean, there's a long ground for that. Secondly, what also is the case regards those scrapping is the fact that, yes, the case of the 5% telecoms have been overannounced. And I remember when that thing happened, that campaign roughly before Mr. Issa Pantami, Minister Issa Pantami did, drop it. And the president are also alluding to, dropping it. So I think that was pretty much dropped. And, this executive order pretty much couples that. And also the taxation and green laws. Anyway, those ones will be reviewed again because the single-use plastic, because what really happened is the fact that as regards that single-use plastic, these are laws in consonance with the International Convention of Environmental Protection and the like, and we know the decadent use already of single-use plastics, how it blocks our drainages and all of that, the encumbrance challenges that come with it. So he says he's going to review that. He will give a leeway. Manufacturers are quite happy about it, and a couple of other taxes on drinks, they're quite happy about it, a cushioning effect. But I think concerning taxation, what we should do is we should go back and review more of our taxation laws and take a look at that National Tax Policy again. If you look at that document, there are many taxes that you wonder, okay, can we cut this? Can we cut that here and there? And can we harmonize it? Can we harmonize it? Can we have one tax collection point, as it were? I know there are local government taxes, there are state taxes and all of that, and there are federal government taxes. CIT, for instance, is federal government tax. But can we harmonize it? And also, can we reduce the corruption with the collection? You see, A lot of the problem are the channels of collection. Some political office holders just use all these touts to collect these taxes. There's so much taxation. Somebody is coming to collect also collecting all sorts of taxes. And at the same time, you still have to pay your federal taxes and all of that. But when you check it, nothing is done in return for the businesses and the taxpayers. So I think the most important thing, how we can harmonize the taxes, reduce the multiple taxation. And that's why I'm really happy, that if the government is saying now, through FIRs, that they want to collect VAT from market people, that also needs a lot of explanation. But the truth is, if they can use that VAT to nullify other illegal taxes being collected by other avenues in the market, I'll be so happy. Because if you have a shop in the Nigerian market, before you know it, the Babaloja says you must pay 1,000 one day. There are some days that they will lock up the market. There are some days that they say they're going to pay end of year fee in the market. And those things are just multiple taxes that people that own market stores pay, that is really very inimical to the growth and development of the country. If you can harmonize all of that in one VAT tax, like they're saying they want to do, that will go a whole long way. So I think what we should really do is to have a very quick look at the tax reform itself in its entirety.
Yeah. Like the one you just spoke about, if the president they can harmonize it. So we have just one agency in charge of it. But I doubt it, because if you go to the marketplace, our local markets, the tax, they collect money from them every day. And if you say that one agency should be the one collecting this tax, what will happen to those lodgers and those other associations that come to collect?
But they need to go. They can't be law unto themselves. It's just because what we've done is we've constantly bred a culture of corruption. Because we have done it over the years doesn't make it right. All those taxes and also the lodgers are collecting at the levy, it doesn't make it right. The lodgers are not the ones that organize the market. The local governments are supposed to organize the market. I mean, I remember my early memory. My dad used to be supervisor for Agric and also vice chairman of local government in the 90s. In fact, in my local government, the Dogbulu. And I remember then that it was the local government that fixed the market dates, the market days. So if the local government had sway of releasing scheduling for the market days, because I remember particularly I used to have the scheduling for the market days in a year that was prepared by the local government. So if the local government can do all of that, then the local government should be able to take care of the market and remove those, like I say, non-state actors, as it were, away from collecting all sorts of levies. Because in the end, it's the local government that should be able to take care of the market and clean it up. So even with all the levies that they collect and all of that, our markets are still very dirty, very unhygienic, and the likes. Yeah. So we can do better. Because people have constantly fleeced the government through those hegemony setup does not mean it is right.
Talking about doing better, there's this news, it's on the Daily Trust, and other papers says protesters besiege Abuja EU office, demands withdrawal of election reports. Now, there are pictures of people protesting and saying that the EU they should withdraw the election report. I'm like, okay, the EU has given their own report. How would they withdraw it? What is the need for this protest? And what is the impact of the protest? Who is the person who's behind the protest?
Anyway, we don't know who is behind the protest, but one thing I will never take away from them is their right of protest. Everybody has a right of protest, but the question is, withdraw what EU report? An EU report that explicitly stated what is happening in the country. An EU report that corroborated other reports, like the ECOWAS report that was presented in court. You see, when a country doesn't like to tell itself the truth, we have all sorts. So thinking by a protest, they'll be able to make a narrative that the EU report was rejected, right? I mean, because that's the narrative they're trying to pull.
Yeah, yes.
So as they have the right of protest, maybe another group of Nigerians, we should go and protest to support the EU report. Abi? Protest, go jam protest. It just smacks of hypocrisy. And all of these people that are rejecting the EU report, they too should go and write their report. You see, now, Pepper Body, they do most of these people that are doing all sorts. But I will not take away their right of protest. They have a right of protest. But when you hear the quality of protest, what was not true in the EU report, Mary pointed out. What was not true in the EU report? The EU report was explicit and apportioned blame to everybody. The EU report even reviewed how media houses covered the election. What was not true in the EU report? So, I mean, let's just laugh it off, Jerry. Don't worry. We all know how these things are organized in this country.
And the next news here, INEC files charges against suspended Adamawa rec. Now, this has not been in the news for a while until this morning. I saw it that INEC has...
So while all of a sudden, why is INEC saying they filed charges against Adamawa rec? Because, anyway, unconfirmed, please underline the word unconfirmed. There was an unconfirmed picture that is circulating online. And all of a sudden, I think it was just 2-3 days ago, people started asking, where is Mr. Ari? Where is Mr. Ari? All of a sudden, INEC is saying, they're filing charges against him. I mean, it's quite funny. We all know all these things going in this country. We are waiting to see the law being meted out against Mr. Harris. I'll be shocked if it happens. You see, that's why we keep talking about there's a grand problem in our country. It's a systemic problem. The systems are already weakened by all sorts of personal favoritism. If the system is in your support, no matter what you do, the law will not take its course. But if the system is against you, they will shunt you totally. All right? But what Mr. Harris is doing, why have they not been able to charge him to court or expedite action when there's visible evidence all this while? But if another person that was against the system that is currently running things in the country did the same thing, it will have been decimated by now. They will have publicly disgraced him and all of that. So we know all of this work. But you see, what builds a nation, like I always say, is fairness, equity, and justice. So Harry committed a very, very grievous offense that INEC got disciplined him and all of that. But I mean, we're still seeing how the case is dragging. Let's see if the rule of law will take its course. But it's sad what happens in this country.
Just to ask, have you heard about any news concerning Mefele and Bawa in DSS custody? Any updates?
They are still there. Like I said before, it's part of still our laws. So there's a law that was signed into law in 2015 called ACTA, the Ministerial of Criminal Justice Act, that pretty much says that for investigation, people can detain you and they can hold you as long as a magistrate signs the warrant. So what the security agencies normally do is that they collect the sort of like the sign-off signature, and at their own volition, they can add the date to see how much they can extend you. And the lacuna in ACTA says that they can pretty much keep you for as much as 56 days thereabouts, as long as they keep saying, okay, the magistrate has signed, the magistrate has signed, the magistrate has signed. So if your lawyer asks them, why are you keeping this person? They will show you that the magistrate has signed that they can keep you for investigation and all of that. And that's a lacuna. So people look at ways to abuse our laws. So because if you challenge the DSS, that will tell you that, they have a court order keeping him. But it's a lacuna in ACTA that we need to fill, that we need to sort out, a condition of criminal justice, because it just makes you violate the rights of people in the end. So today, dealt with because as we speak today, people that are in control of things, they are not in their favor. If they were in their favor, they will not go through all of this. So let's say a pound. But I think there's the Mefele lawyers are pushing the case for the 13th of July. We've not really heard much about from the side of Mr. Bawa. I mean, let's see how these things go. But it's so sad that the human rights are being violated. They're keeping somebody for how many days now? We've not even heard the full slant of the investigation and all of that. And this is a government that doesn't even respect court orders. And we've seen that too many times. This is a government, and when you take government to court and you win them in court, implement the court order is almost not going to happen because they're not going to respect it. So it's that grand cadence of lawlessness. It's that grand cadence of lawlessness that we have in our country.
It seems our law even encourages the lawlessness.
Because
we have a lot of gray areas in our laws, unlike the Chinese. When bad is bad, good is good, this is it and this is that. But in our laws, there are a lot of areas, gray areas.
So what you should know, Mary, is this, and I think this will help a lot. You should know that the people that draft the law are people with their own interests. So it's the human being that drafts the law. And the drafters of the law also deliberately leave these lacunas to be able to account for variations when they want to use it in their favor. And that's why we should be more exact about how we draft our laws. We should read through the laws. We should raise concern. Like now, we'd like to see between now and the next election, the lacunas we spotted in the Electoral Act, how are we going to fix them by the legislature? And that's why, please, as you are as a citizen today, it is important you get the number of your lawmaker representing any constituency you live in and your home constituency, and constantly make your voice heard. Constantly make your voice heard. Because you see, building a country is not just one effort, it's a collective effort. And those are the challenges we have in Nigeria today. Those are the challenges. Everybody has an interest. So even when the law is drafted and accepted, it is skewed towards certain interests. And that's why you see all those lacunas. Take, for instance, look at the lacuna of ACTA. The security agencies have exploited that ACTA lacuna. So even if the Constitution says you must not lock someone for more than 24 hours before you charge them to court, forget it. With ACTA, you can be locked up for over 50 days in this country without doing anything. Once they arrest you, they say they're investigating all sorts. You can be locked up. So they can indiscriminately pick you up and say they are arresting. And guess what they will do? They will just use the media to play a trumped-up game. They will say, oh, terrorism charges, illegal financing, money laundering, and all of that. In the end, there's nothing out of it. But once they trump it up like that, they give media something to feed on. And because they know that some Nigerians will be gullible not to ask further questions, once they give media something to chew on, forget it. And all of these guys who have boys in the media that work for them, if you know the payroll of guys, and that's why you see, I keep saying, let's do media clean. Let's do media well. If you know the guys are on the payroll of certain quarters in the media sometimes, and that's why you see that journalists are not respected because they just look at them. And just give them something to be able to tell a story. And that's why we need to change that focus for us as journalists. We must make it at a level of journalism. But the question is, doing that also, will be problematic because when you look at it, the economic situation, and people fall for these things and all of that, you'll be surprised how much journalists are on these payrolls. You'll be surprised. And that's why I'm telling people the real fact. And that's why I tell you, be cautious with the things you hear, empirically verify and fact check and all of that. And that's why you see, even with the EFCC, we keep hearing a lot of things. Oh, this person has been called up by the EFCC. The story will break and all of that. We will not hear the end of it. So because somebody was called up by a security agency does not mean they've done wrong. It could be trumped up, it could be hard sometimes, except a court of competent jurisdiction convicts the person, you can't pass judgment. You can't pass judgment. And we need to be very careful. So there's so much that happens in statecraft. And that's why you should listen to VOP, because we keep breaking these things down for you.
Before I let you go, Abba Kyari's case, he secures a bail. Abba Kyari and his brothers, 5 million naira bail, but he's still in Kuje prison.
Yeah, but the bail might be suspect in implementing, because I think there are two cases. Then there's the connection to drug case, and there's also the case of non-declaration of assets. So let's see how that pans out. But also the argument they made in his favor that they had been of good conduct and all of that. But like I said again, we cannot stop too much except a court of competent jurisdiction convict Abba Kyari. Yeah, we know all what happened. We know his fall from grace to grass and all of that. We knew the encumbrance. We know how people were shell-shocked by the revelation. But except a court. But the big question is our court, now the bastion of morality. And that's why it's a challenge to the judiciary this morning. All eyes on the judiciary. This election petition, all eyes on the judiciary. The judiciary must be seen as accountable and as being in standing tall and upholding the laws of our land. Because the judiciary must wean itself of all sorts of encumbrances and all sorts of allegations and do what is right. Because if the judiciary is the hope of the common man and the judiciary is found wanting, where does the common man go?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. And the judiciary must stand up tall.
Thank you.
So we can't say too much about Abba Kyari, except, of course, a competent jurisdiction says found him guilty of all the charges. It's just a charge. The charge is an allegation. The court process returns it proof. Also, we want speedy dispensation of justice. I think these are part of the holistic reforms in what we call statecraft. But when you see all of this, as regards statecraft, what happens is that those that are in charge of the state will now skew it to favor them. I think for further reading on these things I'm saying, you should take our time to read Machiavelli, The Prince.
Yeah.
It's a very important book. You will understand how a state works. The Prince, Machiavelli. It's a very important book on how the state works. It's still the head of state is how it works. So you will see that from time immemorial, those Chinese states use the craft of state, their benefits and all of that. But a state that can wean itself off all those special interests is what becomes a just and equitable society. That's just it.
Thank you so much, Rufai.
Yeah.
We need to go for commercials, and when we come back, the show continues. Have a good Friday.
Have a great
Friday.
Friday.
Enjoy your Friday, or not like last week that you were busy.
Bless you all of our listeners. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bless you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Bless.
We'll go for commercials. We'll be back after this. The Voice of the People, 90.3 FM.
Are you looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, number 42, Muritala Muhammad International Airport Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in a beautifully appointed rooms featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your everyday need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop-off from the Lagos Airport.
Take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant.
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So, why wait? Book your stay today and experience ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort. Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less. The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and Coldberry ice cream, delight in every scoop. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and Coldberry ice cream at 11 Road by First Avenue, Festac Town, 28 Adenira Ogusanya Street, Surulere, 13 Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Romeo's Pizza and Coldberry ice cream. Romeo, the pizza champions.
This is the Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. You are listening to the Front Page Review. My name is Mary Onaife Edebi. I have with me, joining me via the network, Obed He is a regular on the program, and he is also the chairman, editorial board, Politics Now newspaper. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mary.
Yeah, good to have you join us today.
Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure.
Now, let's take a look at the ministerial list. Report on ministerial list is mere speculation, says the presidency. Now, the presidency has said that some mainstream and online media outfits on a purported ministerial list are mere fabrication. On that list, I think Wike's name was on the list. Some people were even discussing, I was there when they said that they already know some people on the list and all of that. But presidency has said the list is not out yet. What they have on social media is a fabrication. What's your thoughts?
Well, it is the duty of the president to speak and to discount reports, but it's also the duty of journalists to look for credible stories. And I believe that a lot of the reports over the past a few days they may be off the mark, but you definitely see that honestly there are more than one or two or three persons that have been mentioned that are expecting to make the list. And then the whole report has said that who is likely to come from which state. You look at River State, who is likely to come, who is the closest person to this man now? What does he need the man for? Because even in appointing his ministers, Tinubu is looking for one. He wants to have people. I believe that his major interest, people say it's economic, I think it's politics. He understands that, look, he's actually from a party that even though the cards are not open yet, it's a fractious party. So he's looking to build alliances across the country. So he uses appointments to build alliances. That's why somebody like Wike, who is from the PDP in River State, will likely be a minister because it's something for him. He's been his point man in getting Akpabio elected. Remember, after Akpabio was elected, Akpabio went to visit the president, and then he went with his other friends in the Senate to visit Wike, who is not, a political officer that was thanking him for what he did. So there are people that have worked for him that go to compensate. Of course, they are the ones that will be technocrats or that will have roles to play in terms of key ministries and the rest. So all those are reports are really not out of place. But I expect that Mr. Alake, as the president communication spokesman, will try to, as much as possible, to discount them because there are others whose names are not there and they're asking themselves, why is my name not there? I work so hard. How can you tell someone like Gandhi in Kano because he's looking like the weaker person in Kano now compared to Kwakwa, so that Kwakwa will make the ministerial list and Gandhi will not be there. They'll look for something for him. It's like saying that you want to give something to somebody who from the first day had been with Tinubu moving around. He was in like a palace when he gave the Emilio statement. They all moved and supported him despite that and everything. So I believe that it's all those things that like try to manage on behalf of the president. That is dissonance. People angry, people are looking at this. Recall that about some weeks back, there was it was Gandhi that actually placed a call to Matari, who was the place holder, and was saying that he cannot understand what's happening. After we have worked for this man, we are now hearing that he's picking our enemies as ministers and the rest of them. So all those things are things that are influencing the position of the president. He's trying to make people believe that look, no, we don't have a list yet. We are still in the process of compiling a list and the president is on top of it and nobody has any name at all. But I think some of those names out there are actually credible.
You know that a lot of Nigerians are waiting for the list. We're hoping that it will not be more of a political reward. We want a place where a square peg will fit into a square hole. It's going to be all about competence, not just let me reward this person for being with me.
Exactly. I think we will do that, but you know that we should also be careful in terms of looking at people being in terms of creating or assuming that there's a dichotomy between politics and competence. Because you have somebody like Fashola, for instance, who was Minister of Works for 8 years, and everybody will say out of the morass of the Buhari administration, you see someone like Fashola who actually made something and actually did something. So you find people like that would it will not be totally bad. But I know his main concern is politics. He needs to get a grip. Because it is, like I always say, if you look at what Yari cost, even with that presidency and the party getting 45 or so, or 46 senators to his side, it means that he needs to build alliances far beyond what he has in the APC right now. And I think he will use the ministerial to address some of those things.
Thank you so much, Obed, for the analysis this morning. Enjoy your Friday.
Yes, that's really agree.
Yeah, thank you. We just spoke with Obed, the chairman, editorial board, Politics Now newspaper. The phone lines are open 0700 903 903. Turn down the volume on your radio set. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Mary.
John Legend.
This is John Legend calling from Mushi. Thank you, my sister.
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
What I want to say concerning the selection of the ministers, I know it will be almost 75% of those that work with Buhari, or even 80% of what Tinubu is going to select. Is almost 70% of those, or 80% of who work with Buhari. They will still retain many of them. Maybe he will definitely change their positions. That's what is going to happen in that ministry. Secondly, another take is that I don't know why Nigeria government are still keeping Nnamdi Kanu in prison, and they are talking the insurgency in on East. I cannot see. I don't know who is fooling who. This time, I don't know why I don't know what this Nigeria want from Nnamdi Kanu. Why are they keeping him there till now? And the keeping him there till now is causing mayhem in the East, and nobody's talking about it. They're only talking about insecurity, unknown government in East, but they are not talking about how Nigeria are offending the law, keeping somebody that the court of law have been released. Ask them to free him. I don't understand why they are doing all these things they are doing. It's affecting the East. They should not let them talk about what is happening. Let them release that young man. Let him go, and let there be peace in the Southeast. It's causing a lot of havoc. It is not good. This is law. Let us work with law. Secondly, I have not seen this increment of everything here. I have not even seen anything, and they are still talking of increasing taxes and everything. And the people that are talking about AU gives Nigeria almost 170 something million euro for them to sponsor election. Now they came and give you their own report, and now you are complaining that the report they gave you that is not right. Why did Nigeria collect that money? Why did Nigeria employ them to come and observe the election? Why did they accept the money they gave them? They're not supposed to accept that money if they know that because they give them the good results. That's why now they are. So who is protesting? Are we protesting against peace?
Thank you, John Legend. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome. What's your name and location? Okay, please can you speak it louder?
The people protesting from EU. It's APC people, not Nigeria, not federal government. I'm telling you the truth. Are you hearing me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, so taking say maybe an election for Nigeria was free and fair. Even the newborn baby for inside Benin, he knows that election for Nigeria was not free and fair. So there's nothing they can talk about. Maybe the judgment of maybe this one will bring maybe people where they inside the court, judge all these judges. I don't know how they call them. Maybe they just hear as people they talk about. I don't know whether they listen to your radio right now. I don't know. Are they listening to your radio right now or your station?
Thank you.
Chief judges. Hello?
No, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I say thank you. I don't even talk 2 minutes. Say thank you. You also want me to let you listen.
Talk now. I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
Chief judge from my state. I'm from Akwa Ibom State. It's on a new government. One of my chief judges from there. If I just get opportunity to sit down and say, guys, just look for Nigeria and Nigeria look onto their hands to make the Nigeria happy. That's my contribution. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you very much. 0700-903-903-903. Now for the protest that our last caller just talked about, there is nowhere it was reported that the APC are the people behind the protest. There's nowhere in the reports that says that APC people are behind the protest. the protesters that besieged the Abuja EU office to demand withdrawal of the election report. Hello, good morning to you.
Mary, how are you? Good morning. Thank God it's Friday.
Peter Monse from Shomolu. Thank God it's Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. Mary, if there's anybody that should protest, it should be the EU that should protest and demand for the refund of the money that they gave to Nigeria when the Nigeria told them they want to conduct election. And the EU thought they want to do the election like other parts of the world, and they released their money and gave to us. At the end of the day, they did not do what they promised the EU and even Nigerians that they were going to do. I think that is what is contained in the EU report, that you did not conduct the election using the machinery that you told us that you were going to use. And you did not do something when they were violent in many places that you promised. INEC promised that anywhere there is violence, there is snatching of ballot paper or ballot boxes, that election there will be cancelled. Did they do that? See, for me, those people that are protesting, yes, they have the right to protest. But do you know that sometimes you abuse your right? In fact, the right that you think you are using will make you look like a fool. Because in this case, there is nothing that the EU put in that report that we Nigerians have not said. That even the civil society organizations in Nigerians have not said. Even about 700 society organizations the other time was asking for the arrest of the INEC chairman. And EU did not ask for that. So why are they protesting? I mean, is it to confirm the claim of one of the EU presidents some time ago that said Nigerians are fantastically corrupt? Are they displaying that corruption now before the EU? Because for me, that is what that protest is doing. The protest is just showing the whole world that we don't like the truth, we don't like transparency, that we are fantastically corrupt, and we want to remain in that corruption. That's what that protest is showing to the whole world. It is very unfortunate that everybody has told the INEC that, well, look, you promise everybody that you will upload election results. I mean, in real time, from polling unit, and you experience hitches, and you did not report back to the stakeholders that this is what I'm experiencing. I want to suspend it for now until we get things right. You went ahead unilaterally and do what you like. Out of 31% results, you declare a winner. And EU and Nigerians say, no, that's not supposed to be so. Now you go and protest. It's a disgrace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah,
Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you, Peter Monte. 0700 903 903 903 for WhatsApp is 0700 903 9039. Let's take some WhatsApp messages. We have Chika Bende from Trade Fair says a court grants Abba Kyari bail. Hope it won't hold water because the reason the presiding judge gave was not enough. How can you say because he never escaped when there was jailbreak? Where do you want him to go when he's known everywhere? And even American government is interested in his case. Please, what could be the fate of the common citizen if the judiciary system is bastardized? Chika Bende from Trade Fair, thank you so much for your message. Leo from Lagos says, good morning, Mary. APC protesters storm EU complex in Abuja. That's not the headline. You just said protesters, not APC. Let's get that clear. To demand EU report on fraudulent presidential election to be withdrawn. And we wonder what APC, okay, thank you. I think you've made your point. We appreciate you. But Dede from Bodedo Lushola says, good morning, Mary. Thank God it's Friday. I would like to state here that the protest against the EU report on presidential election is political and childish. Thank you so much, Ulushola. I appreciate all of your messages. Frank Onero from USA said, no amount of protest can change the fact that the enormous failure by INEC, security agencies, and the entire Nigerian state, as outlined in the EU 2023 general election, Nigeria must begin to take corrective measures outlined by the report and the OASA's report. Otherwise, doomsday and chaos in future elections. Frank Onero, thank you for the message. Lugat from Benin says, good morning, Mary. You mean people really went to protest at EU office so that they could withdraw their election report? Mary, this is the greatest act of irresponsibility in the highest order. Instead of them to be happy and pounce on INEC to remedy their mess, they are rather protesting because their principal was indicted with the EU Truthful Election Report. Now, wow, if the former Adamawa Reg should be persecuted, then Mahmoud Yakubu, his boss, should be persecuted in triple times because Mahmoud is the greatest electoral offender in the 2023 general election. Therefore, INEC should spare this one-sided persecution. Thank you, Lugard from Benin. Thank you very much for your message. We will pause here and then go to some calls. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Turn down the volume on your radio set, please.
Thank you very much.
Turn down the volume on your radio set. Turn down the volume.
Yeah, I'm away from the radio now.
Okay, what's your name and location?
This is Falana calling from Ekotum.
Okay, go ahead.
You see, Nigerians, we need to be very, very careful. And most of people, we that calling this show, there are some people, they run from one station to one station to just they give sort of things. Look, everybody has his own right. Yes, the election that these people claiming that the election was not this or not that, most of their candidates won the election and they congratulate them. The same election that prevail is not credible, is this and that. Most of the candidates won in this election and they congratulate them. So most of people, some people are able to come and listen on this calling of this radio issue. I think by now we need to be very careful. We need to move forward. We need to do, and I believe that the election of the night of the month, that's all. Lastly, I need this opportunity to beg the government of Lagos State. The local government, they are not helping this man. Look, where I'm living at the Kotu here, I know why there. We don't have there some road here, more than 50 years nobody has sent to this road. And you want to precisely, when I say about 20 roads, this road is work. We know how much we are spending on our vehicle. Please, I beg the governor of Lagos and the governor for two local government should do something. The man did nothing. Honestly speaking, compared to the other local government chairman. Thank you very much. God bless you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for calling. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call and join the conversation. I'll head now to YouTube to take some of the messages, then back to the phone line. We have Ade Gunwaniye on YouTube, who says, Iyaloja are the stakeholders which Mata and FIRSA will work with. I think they will be retrained and reintegrated for this purpose of tax collection. Okay, thank you very much. The Franklin Dixon says, in Nigeria, the rule of law have been thrown into the trash bin by the politicians. If the judgment or order don't favor them, they just ignore it and nothing happens. Impunity reigns supreme. Thank you very much. Father Evangelist Man of God says, Nigeria, nobody is coming to save us. So Nigeria, let us get up and be our own hero again and stand for the truth. Always one love. Okay, thank you so much. Ade Tunde says, how can some people be seeking legitimate acceptance and cooperation out of illegitimacy, lawlessness, and criminality? Okay, thank you very much for your message. Emmanuel Kogu says, good morning, Mary. The things that Tinubu would do in the Aso Rock, it will take Nigeria eternity to fix it. Okay, the court don't do, if the court don't do the needful. Okay, thank you for your message, your opinion. Okay, Olayin Kavalen Hall said, Uncle Peter, God bless you, sir. Okay, and we have Austin Exosa. Austin said, APC has proven over time that they are desperate and ready to do anything. APC is, oh, thank you. Thank you. You can see, thank you for the message. Let's leave it there. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call in and join the conversation. We have, I think, a few minutes before we go. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mary, good morning.
Mr. Ben from Iba, good morning to you. Welcome. What's your, okay.
Merry Friday.
Yeah, Merry Friday to you.
Right, one of the protesters that went to EU, next time they come, they should just open, they say they should withdraw the report. Next time they come, let them withdraw the report from their cupboard and give it to them so that this matter will end. All those electoral reports, they should withdraw from their locker and give it to them. Concerning what Zamfara governor did, I want Tinubu to do the same from 28 ministry. He cut it down to 2016. Tinubu should not use this thing to compensate his all those political talks that help him to win an election. He should reduce them. We don't want plenty because ministers. Concerning the House of Assembly that say that the schools should not increase their school fees. What they should tell the government is not to remove subsidy on education, because they have removed subsidy on education. Schools must involve that tuition fee. They must increase it in order to cover up. All the help government is giving them, they have removed their hands from it, and you are telling them not to remove. Concerning this man, Adama Warek, that man did not do anything, because King Piri, the governor, they corrected it. Yakub Mahmoud was the one that committed the main offense. The person he gave us as president is still there, and he's the one that is working free. He has got so many evil he did is there, looking at everybody's face. And the person he gave us is there. All the evil he did, and they should not take that man to court. The man did not do anything. They should not take Adama Warek to court. It is Mahmoud Yakub that should go.
Thank you, Mr. Ben. Thank you.
His president is the one that is sitting on turning Nigeria upside down.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ben. We appreciate you. And the Adama Rek actually committed an offense. So evil is evil. What is bad is bad. So I think he did something, and he should be prosecuted. And for the election that you said the INEC chairman gave us the president, the issue is still in court. So just be patient, and everything will be sorted. I think later September we'll get to know the verdict of the tribunal. I will use the time we have to read all of the messages that I have, so I won't take calls again, just messages. We have Peter from Morili says, "Good morning, Mary. The reason adopted by the trial judge for granting Abba Kyari bail does not hold water. As far as I'm concerned, Abba Kyari is a high-profile personality, and so there was nowhere he could have run to during the Kuje prison break. If he had escaped, he would have been rearrested immediately. That's why he didn't run anyway, and not because he is ready to face the charges leveled against him." Thank you so much, Peter, from Orele. And I have Grace from Ayobo says, because it's in APC favor, they now allow protest by NLC, but allowed protest, but NLC wanted to protest. This government ran to court to stop the protest. That's to show you that the government knows what they are doing. Okay, thank you, Grace. But I've stated here that we don't know if APC is the one behind it according to the reports. But everyone is free to protest. By law, you can protest what you don't agree with. Another message here. I'm not going to take that one because there is... Okay, it's Comrade Peterson says, APC, people protesting in front of EU. Okay, thank you very much for your message. I've already cleared that. We have again from Agege says, as per the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, he has lost his reputation before Nigerians. I pity those in his family. I mean, those that bear the same surname with him. And personally, if I wake up to hear Mahmoud, let alone Mahmoud Yakubu, I shall go back to sleep. Okay, thank you very much for the message. And we have one here. From Senator from Isola said, Mary, I hope you are not defending APC. It's not APC that are protesting. Then who? Okay, it's unfortunate that the gullible ones that has refused to hear the truth has kept Nigeria to this sorry state we are today. The EU report has choked them. They can't escape this. They release Kyari and refuse to release Kanu. Senator from Isola. Thank you for the message. Okay, I think I will end here now. My time is up. Thank you very much for being part of the program. I appreciate you. My name is Mary Onaife Debbie. You can find me on social media, Instagram and Thread. Yes, at Mary Media, MERRY Media. Okay, coming up next at 8 o'clock on the dot is Ogen Digbo, another interesting program. You don't want to miss it. Keep it here. Do not change the dial.
Are you looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden